Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus gameplay video. Today we're going to be taking another look at Tekken 8, released this year, 2024, for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and on Windows-compatible PCs. And I thought in this video I'd play as Alisa. Now, if you hadn't seen my previous videos, this game was released on January 26th of 2024 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows PCs if you have a computer powerful enough. This game runs on the Unreal 5 engine and features like a lot of returning characters and a lot of new characters. In the previous video, I had detailed who are the new characters, which I'll just go through these really quick if you haven't seen that previous video. There's Angel Jin, who's like an angelic version of Devil Jin, of Jin Kazama. There's Azucena Milagros Ortiz Castillo, who is a Peruvian mixed martial artist. Of course, the latest Jack robot, which is Jack 8. Then there's a character named Reina, who's a purple-clad teenager who studies at Mishima Polytechnic. She's the illegitimate daughter of Heihachi Mishima and possesses the Devil Gene. She practices Mishima-style karate in addition to Kaido. And then there's Victor Chevalier, I think it is. And he's like this French dude with like guns and everything and like crazy tech. Because I can remember when I like faced that guy originally, he was really absolutely crazy. And he had all kinds of moves. And Alisa is one of these characters who's very fun to play as. She just has so many like crazy like chainsaw moves and everything. And I remember when I was recording this video for this gameplay here, I noticed that like some of the ads in the background had real people in them, and I was like, well, that's kind of a strange decision to like include real people in it instead of just like taking like... Speaking of Victor, here he is so you can actually see what he looks like. And you'll see that he has a lot of cool moves and a lot of like crazy tech, but as I said, I found it weird that like real people were in the ads in the background instead of how do I want to say it, like just taking like a CGI portrait of a character and putting it in the ad, so it like seems a bit more in-universe. I think it looks a bit weird when you see like realistic people in like obviously CGI game like Tekken. It kind of takes you out of the experience, if you ask me, a little bit, but not too big of a problem. But as I had mentioned in the previous two videos of this series, when I display this game on my TV in my living room, it displays in 4K 120Hz mode, and it looks absolutely amazing. Not to say that this game doesn't scale well if your display can't do that, because what you're seeing on YouTube here, I'm sure once YouTube eats this video up and spits it out, it's gonna not look as great as it does straight off of the capture. But the 720p capture of this game looks pretty good because the game scales really well. All I have to do was I told the PlayStation 5 to only render at 720p and turned off HDCP so my capture card would be able to capture the game. But as you can see, regardless if you're displaying in 4K, 1440p, 1080p, even 720p, which is what you're seeing right now, this game just looks absolutely amazing. Now, just to go over really quick, your returning characters here are, of course, Alisa, who you're seeing here, Asuka, Azazel, Brian Fury, Claudio, Devil Jin, Eddie Gordo, who's just like the new downloadable content character, Feng Wei, Huo Rong, Jack 7, Jin Kazama, Jun Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, also Devil Kazuya, King 2, Puma 2, Lars Anderson, Lee Shaolan, Leroy Smith, Lydia Sobiska, who is a downloadable content character, Lily, Ling Xiaoyu, Martial Law, Nina Williams, Panda, Paul Phoenix, Raven, and then of course Sergei Dragunov. I always say his name wrong. I'm probably never even close. Shaheen, Steve Fox, Yoshimitsu, and Zafina. So, right now we have quite a few characters. And I'm sure with like more downloadable content passes, like in Tekken 7 we had 4 downloadable content passes, so I'm sure there's going to be like at least 4 seasons of this game as well. So you're going to have plenty of characters. And I want to say Feng was actually introduced in Tekken 5, if I recall correctly. So I remember him being in the intro. And I think Asuka also was introduced in Tekken 5. But yeah, that's one thing I have to say about Alisa here. She has a lot of those really cheap moves that you can throw at the AI and like devastate them really easily. And a lot of the moves are like, honestly, you know, if you did it against a human opponent, it'd be like really cheap. But, you know, when you're just playing by yourself, it's just fun to do certain moves and just watch how the AI reacts to it. And if you saw the last video, this is actually the same, well, actually I think it was in the first video with Yoshimitsu. This is the same Ling Xiaoyu that I was fighting up against. And that's one thing I noticed in this gameplay. I don't know if it's a thing that doesn't happen, but I did not have to do any mirror matches, which was very good, because if you've seen any of my fighting game videos, I don't like mirror matches because the AI tends to be a lot better with just about every character than I am, and they tend to dominate me really easily. But yeah, I like this stage a lot. It's like Roman Arena. I wonder if like in the story mode there's going to be actually like something to tell you why they're fighting in like a Roman arena, or if it's just like, oh, that's a pretty cool stage for fighting games, so we're gonna include it. But that's one thing I definitely have to give Tekken credit for. Never a loss of stages to play in and different venues to fight, and I think that's gonna be great. Yep, that was great. Because I just noticed when I was looking at that right now, how little health I had when I pulled off that like super move. I was thinking that most certainly has to be a great. But I know I've said it numerous times in these 3 gameplays that I've released, but this game is definitely a very fun game that, even if, I would go as far as to say, even if you've never really played Tekken, or you've never really got into fighting games, I think the way that they made this game, it is actually a good entry into the series for somebody who might not be familiar.
Get ready for the next battle.
Speaking of Shaheen, there he is. I believe he was actually introduced in Tekken 7. And this is another one of those really cool looking stages, like with a battlefield in the background and everything. Makes me think of the hot zone from Dead or Alive 5. But I could remember back when you'd play like the original Tekken, you were happy to have like a flat ground and then just like some like static background, and then only the characters were actually 3D. So it's one of those things when you're playing this in 2024 and you're thinking, boy, we really have like gone far from like the first basic stage with 3D characters type thing. Because I can remember back then you'd be like, oh wow, that like screen on the wall is displaying all the action. Whereas nowadays it's a lot more graphically intense features, and you don't have to go for something like just a cheap visual display in the background, and that's like a really fancy feature of the game. But nowadays, you can still do that, but it's not needed for the flair that it once had back in fighting games histories. But yeah, once again, here is Devil Kazuya, the boss of this game. And now that I'm thinking about it, this stage actually reminds me a little bit of Jinpachi's stage in Tekken 5. But I think Jinpachi's stage had like a lot more like tornadoes and stuff, and it really looked like it was going crazy. But it's kind of a similar stage to what Jinpachi had, where it's like a stage that's kind of like almost being destroyed. Yet you as the player have to still like keep on fighting. But yeah, as I was saying, from my initial gameplays from when I first got this back in January, and from more playing now, Tekken 8 is a great looking game, great playing game, and I would highly recommend trying this game out if you have not already. Get it for your PC, get it for your current console, definitely give it a shot. But this has been another Game Nexus gameplay video, and I shall see you later. Bye. And of course, no endings that I can see for arcade mode, but oh